It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Wednesday Travel and Cruise Industry News. Coming to you from Bedford County in Central Virginia area on another rainy morning. It's supposed to slow down some later on today, but we're still getting some rain from 8, as much of the East Coast has. At any rate, welcome to the show this morning. Of course, it's brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around and Chilliescruises. We do have a special guest this morning, as we're going to talk about Ocean Key, which we'll get to that in a minute. Not much in the way of news. Two rather lengthy stories, but not a whole lot this morning. One, a crew member receives a 30-year prison sentence, and a guest removed from Villia Odyssey cruise, and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today is National Cheeseburger Day. That's right up my alley. I could actually live on cheeseburgers and nothing else. Wouldn't bother me in the least. All right, so we don't have, I don't have anything from Hot Air Tom today. They were in Halifax yesterday, and he was supposed to have a afternoon tour that something got screwed up. There wasn't anybody there, and then he found out that they were gone, and so it had been canceled, I guess, the day before, but he never got wind of that. He could have taken another excursion or something, but he waited all day to do this. So he was going to try to get some money back from Norwegian. I told him, yeah, you get what you paid for it, but you're not going to get anything extra, I don't think. But he was going to attempt that. So I don't know what the end result of that is. So we don't have any side things this morning, which is fine because we got a busy morning this morning. Oh my goodness! I just now got a message from my buddy Nate. He thinks he broke his toes. I'm not sure what happened with that one. But anyway, let's get on with my special guest this morning. All right, my special guest this morning is my friend Nate Vallier. He's down on Ocean Key Marine Reserve on the MSC Magnifica. And last night, they actually did an overnight at Ocean Key. So let's bring in Nate. Welcome back to what is this? This is Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. I told you I'm fading. So welcome back, Nate.
Sounds like you need a vacation, not me.
Oh, yeah. I'm leaving Friday. Finally getting out of the house after almost a month. Right. Okay, so
yeah.
This morning
we made it to Ocean Key. Actually, tonight's our overnight. Not last night. Last night we left Miami.
Yeah, but for tomorrow, when this is going to be aired, it was last night. All right, tell me about getting towed in this morning.
Well, we did a couple of orbits. It didn't seem like it was too windy, but for some reason, the weather didn't seem to be cooperating, and I was just kind of lounging around on the back deck, behind the buffet, working on some puzzles and stuff. And next thing I know, I see this tugboat get closer and closer to us, and I figured, we're going to hit something. And next thing I know, they throw a line out, and we ended up getting assisted as we backed into Ocean Key.
Oh, well, that's cool. All right, so they've been doing some construction work down there. Tell me about what you've discovered on the improvements.
Well, there's a lot more covered spaces. They have a lot more permanent fixtured umbrellas like we see here. This is in front of the ice cream shop and coffee shop, which weren't here before. They have more little cocoon-shaped cabanas around. Well, I guess they're clamshells. So even like here out at the Ocean or Lighthouse Reef Bar, these were not here last time I was here. I'll kind of zoom back. I don't remember seeing these. That or I was just too drunk. But they now have a bunch of these that face out to the water, which is nice. Some of the Lighthouse Beach is under construction, but it's still open for the party. We still have the fire pits going. Looks like about 4 or 5 behind me. They haven't brought the DJ out. That starts in a little bit. But the construction isn't really in your face, which is good. They have closed off the north side of the lagoon, so there's a bunch of rock now all the way across, whereas before it was open. And I mean, the improvements look good. They're adding more housing. It looks like they're finally going to open the second buffet, which is much needed. I think that's my biggest complaint here on Ocean Key is if you're hungry, it's going to be a long wait. And even though they have the food shacks everywhere, those are just burgers and hot dogs. They now sell lobster rolls for like $15. It looks like. And the improvements are nice. I mean, I appreciate what they've done here. This island used to be a very horrible looking island. This one of my first jobs with an airline, we flew here, so we took the workers in and out of this place. So I do commend MSC for what they've turned this into.
Because it started off.
Rumor
it was a dump.
The small island. Oh yeah, well, they did both salt mining and sand mining, which sounds kind of weird. And they've, like I said, they've done a good job. I think that they spent a lot of money acquiring this place and making it work. There's rumor that this new island they're building off to the south side is going to be part of this. I've heard a hotel. I've heard another yacht club type facility. Who knows? I think it's all conjecture at this point. It's not an MSC to partner with a hotelier. I can't see that coming in here. I think we have one of the Explorer ships off our coast. There's a lot of supply ships out here and a lot of construction type ships as well. But they do have a small, it's like a 5-deck. The smaller ship, it looks like an Explorer ship, but it's not even a dock. So I don't know if that's with guests. I don't know if MSC's luxury end even comes here or not, but it could be for the construction workers. But no, they've done a good job keeping the construction away and out of sight, out of mind. I mean, you've got a couple of the boards up that say, hey, we're reimagining Ocean Key, but everything's open. All the beaches are open for the most part. No problem getting on and off the island. Wi-Fi, as we're discovering, is getting a little bit better. And even on the north side of Bimini Beach, I was able to get both T-Mobile and AT&T with 4G service. So even though I'm on vacation, I was able to work for a little bit earlier.
Well, you sent me one of my favorite views in all of the Caribbean, and that's when you were walking out to the lighthouse. I just think that's stunning. Yeah. So Ocean Key's one of my favorite.
The problem with MS, I think the downside to that is I had dinner at 6, and you really missed the sunset. And I think people need to think about that when you are coming to these islands, whether it's MSC or Coco Key with Royal Caribbean or Great Stirrup Key. People really miss the sunsets in the Bahamas. They're fascinating. They're amazing. Yeah. It's just great to sit back and relax, have a drink. And I was stuck on the ship, because I did main dining room tonight, and it was actually really good. It's probably the best dinner I've had on MSC, and I know that's not saying a whole lot, but it's definitely not what the YouTubers are saying about awful food. I mean, everyone at my table said it was great. The food was fun.
I've been on 11 MSC ships, and I've always enjoyed the food. So, and I love it. I mean, trust me, I'm not going on MSC or Carnival for the food. I'm going on for the experience, and I think that goes back to what we've talked about before at the value proposition. If you want food, then go sell Holland America, but you're not going to get this experience with Holland America. All right, I got to ask you about the solo meetup cocktail party last night.
Oh, really? So all the MSC ships I've been on, it's never been hosted. It's always just been a
Yeah.
bunch of people walking around the bar going, "Are you solo? Are you solo?" And even with Celebrity, we've had that Princess Holland
Right.
America. It's rare to get a host. You know, I guess I'm told that they have been hosted before, but for me on my MSC cruises, I've never had a host. So I was
Neither have
surprised.
I.
We had one of the assistant cruise directors, and we had one of the entertainers, and we had it in a bar. Had free drinks, which is nice, just like the loyalty meetings. We had champagne, water, or fruit punch, and it was kind of cool, but it's nowhere near Norwegian. It wasn't to the fact that it wasn't to the point of asking for, hey, who has dinner plans, who wants to go to a show, or do this
Yeah.
or do that. And they just said it was just only for the first night. So I think this is a great first step for MSC. MSC is still a lot more friendly to solos compared to Royal Caribbean and Celebrity.
Right.
MSC does have hard limits on the number of solos you can book. I don't think people realize that. So if you go and look for a cruise right now with one person, it's going to be different if you put in two. And so I do remind your listeners and people watching us, if that does happen, put in two people and see what you get. And sometimes it's worth just putting in a fake name and fake date of birth. You're going to pay double anyway.
All right. Have you had a chance to explore Magnifica?
She's an interesting ship. I was surprised that there's no yacht club on board and no specialty dining. She's beautiful. To be honest, I mean, most MSC ships are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's got the moon behind me. And, she's a little bit smaller than Divina, I think. Kind of odd not having very many pools and whatnot compared to, ship you'd think, you're thrown in the Caribbean. But no, she's fine. I have no complaints about her. According to the captain, Magnifica gets some of the highest rankings from guest satisfaction of any MSC ship. And I'm not going to say I don't understand it, but I will say my cabin feels nice. I have a slightly bigger bathroom. Being a bigger guy, I noticed that, especially when it comes to the shower and the loo. Those spaces I'm a little more sensitive to those areas. And I've got more room in my cabin than I had on Oasis of the Seas with the balcony cabin. Food's been all right. The boarding was a lot easier than before. You now have a QR code with MSC. I think they've got most of the bugs out of their apps. So again, MSC, while we read all these horrible reviews online, they're doing they're making steps in the right direction. But something that came up at dinner, because this even came up, a lot of folks don't realize MSC doesn't really have to do the same stuff that Carnival and Norwegian and Celebrity has to do, because that's all those cruise lines do is move passengers around. MSC is the largest cruise line shipping company in the world. These guys are privately owned. They don't need to try. And so I think that they've now had some new blood come in the company where they actually are making those changes, where they're actually doing more customer forward-facing initiatives to try to make things better. Like I said, the bed's comfortable, TV's fine. I have more channels on here than I had on Princess, it feels like. Although Princess, you had the more interactive TV. Again, I can't really complain. Granted, I've been on board for 2 days. I love the fact we're at Ocean Key overnight, which is fantastic. And coming back here in a week on Seascape, so that'll be a full day. But it'll be interesting to see the difference in experience between having
You're on
doing with
Seascape or
2,500
Seashore?
versus, I don't know, one of the sea somethings.
I think you're on Seashore. Seascape sailing out of Galveston, I believe. Oh, we lost your mic.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? All right. We'll blame it on the Long Islands. I mean, the drinks have been really strong for the most part. Too. The bartenders are good, and dinner was pretty good. Had it was a Caribbean night, but no Jamaican chicken. I was hoping for jerk.
So what did you have to eat?
Yeah. I had the guacamole and fondito, but it came with like 5 chips, and you had a massive scoop of guacamole, which seemed kind of weird. I had the island meatloaf, which wasn't too bad. and then the key lime pie for dessert.
Yeah, which
So
is always good.
healthy. The buffet's been okay. The buffet hasn't been miraculous. They actually have American type pizzas now. So I don't think we're going to be seeing pizza with hot dogs on it this time. Full stock ketchup. Again, bravo to MSC for figuring that one out. I've actually been raiding the kids' bar. The kids have the ice cream machine and the chicken tenders.
So that'll make you happy. So, did you make it for
and barbecue sauce?
Yeah.
No,
did you make it for
no,
breakfast this morning?
No, silent disco got the best of me. So that went to about 11:30 last night, and then. But otherwise, it's been a good trip. Again, being on the, it'll be interesting to talk to you next week when I'm on sea, whatever. As we go to
Seashore,
and Cayman, Cozumel, and back here to kind of compare.
Yeah.
Seashore, okay. To be able to compare the newest ship versus Magnifica, just to see the differences.
Yep. Well, I enjoyed Magnifica. It's hard for me to compare Magnifica and Meraviglia because Meraviglia, of course, is new and is behemoth. It's so big compared to Magnifica. Magnificent's more my size. I like a little bit smaller ship.
It's weird. Everywhere I turn, there's a freaking bar. I know people on Norwegian joke about bar crawls and stuff. You don't have to crawl here. You just turn around. There's another bar.
Right. We used to sit down at in the atrium there at the R bar. That was our favorite hangout when we were on Magnifica. So.
Oh yeah, and the guy who's playing piano in the atrium is actually talking to people, taking requests. Very personable, not like we see on other cruise lines where they're following a script. The entertainment's been really good. Again, I think MSC. After COVID, when MSC realized they needed Americans, whereas before they didn't, when we had all of our entry restrictions, MSC, I think, has done a really good job at, realizing that they do need to step up their game to compete with the likes of Carnival, Royal Caribbean. So again, I'm pleased to see what's happening. It is weird not having Yacht Club on the ship. Not that I can afford it, but it's just one of those things you expect, when you go on MSC that, we'll do Yacht Club. Ship within a ship, it's a really good concept, but one doesn't have it. There's an Aria spa. I haven't quite been in there yet. I think that'll be tomorrow or Thursday. Be curious to see how the Nassau port looks. It's been a couple of months, with all the changes. I guess there's a new venue opening. There's a restaurant and a big amphitheater. So I'll be curious to see what they're doing with that.
I've been to the amphitheater, and I think they're going to build a water park just beyond the amphitheater. I don't know if they've started construction of that yet. But I like the changes Nassau's made.
Well, I just need to get rid of the crime, and it'll be good.
Yeah, well, that's true. All right, Mr. Nate.
Yeah, no,
as always, I thank you for giving us some time here this evening. Go enjoy the beach party and don't have too many more Long Island iced teas.
No, got a couple more. Got to use that drink package. No limits.
Okay.
Unlike other.
All right, Nate. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, folks. That's Nate Vallier. He's out there on Ocean Key Marine Reserve. All right. As always, it's good to catch up with Nate wherever he is. It's good to have him down on the same time frame from me instead of 4-hour time difference. So that's nice. All right, I'll be back with today's news after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. A Filipino crew member employed as a stateroom attendant was sentenced to 30 years in prison by a Florida court for producing child pornography. Arvin Joseph Mirasol, a stateroom attendant who serviced passenger staterooms, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Melissa Damian after previously pleading guilty to producing child pornography. Mirasol's crime was discovered on February 25th after a guest aboard the Royal Caribbean cruise ship Symphony of the Seas discovered a hidden camera placed on the counter under the sink in a guest restroom. The 34-year-old crew member admitted placing hidden cameras in bathrooms, according to the arrest report from Broward County Sheriff's Office. The report said a victim who was a minor noticed a hidden camera and reported it to security. The investigation found that Marisol was in possession of numerous videos of children in various stages of undress. The victims' ages ranged from 2 to 17 years. The authorities found that the crew member had been placing cameras in passenger cabins since December 2023. He would reportedly enter the guest staterooms while they were showering and hide under their beds so he could secretly record them exiting the shower. With cooler temperatures and fewer visitors, the fall and winter months are among the best times of the year to visit Orlando and Kissimmee. If you're planning a trip to Disney, Universal, or SeaWorld in the near future, give your feet a rest by renting a mobility scooter with Scoot-Around. All Orlando mobility rentals are 15% off until October 31st of this year. Call Scoot-Around toll-free 888-441-7575 or reserve online. Use code ORLFALL, Oral Fall, or use SRN 11137. Scoot-Around in Orlando. This is from an article by Katie Kovelman at Cruise Hive. Future passengers on Villia Odyssey have been waiting a long time for their lives at sea to finally begin, but for one guess, the voyage will never take place. Jenny Phoenix, a 68-year-old resident of Florida, was excited to join the continuous world cruise offered by Villia Residences, which is meant to circumnavigate the globe every 3.5 years. She even sold her possessions, liquidated her business, and gave up her home in order to prepare to live on the high seas. However, Phoenix has been removed from the ship's roster due to her negativity in the WhatsApp texting app concerning the delayed voyage, which the cruise line claims has poorly impacted morale. Chief Operating Officer Kathy Villalba told Phoenix, "We have received over a dozen formal complaints from residents regarding your continuous complaints and negativity. This behavior has significantly impacted the morale and well-being of other passengers." However, considering the voyage has been delayed since May, stranding many passengers in Belfast, Ireland, where the ship is based, some frustration is understandable. While Phoenix admits to being one of the more outspoken members of the various WhatsApp groups, she insists she was always respectful and that other passengers appreciated that she was willing to ask the tough questions, especially as the delays kept coming. The actual messages sent by Phoenix have not been released to the public, so it's unclear what was really said. Phoenix told reporters, "I was never rude or disrespectful, and I never participated in personal attacks. These were private conversations. I posted nothing on social media platforms." The frustrations among the residents grew after every delay. I tended to be one of the more outspoken, asking important questions. Many of the residents thanked me privately for speaking up for the entire group, continued the ousted passenger. The emotionally devastated woman has now been forced to move in with her daughter to figure out her next steps. This blow comes after the mother of two invested in Life at Sea's residential program, which was canceled after the company filed for bankruptcy at the end of 2023, leading her to turn her sights to Villia Residences in the first place. Phoenix is still owed $30,000 from Life at Sea Cruises, which will make her comeback even more difficult this time around. While many might suggest that Phoenix could appeal the cruise line's decision, another statement obtained by reporters proves that the residential cruise line will not be budging. Villia CEO Mike Peterson said Miss Phoenix broke multiple terms and conditions and signed a non-disclosure agreement. The founding residents voted and agreed to uphold her suspension, and we plan on respecting that decision. That said, things aren't exactly going swimmingly for the remaining residents. The 929-passenger vessel, which was formerly known as Fred Olsen Cruise Line's MS Bramer, has been plagued by delays and technical difficulties since its transformation from cruise ship to residential ship began. One of the key issues was related to the problems with the ship's outdated rudder stocks, an essential piece of navigation equipment that were showing signs of wear and tear after 30 years in service. Another delay came from an issue with the steel work in the gray water tanks on board, which are essential for processing waste correctly and hold water from kitchen areas, showers, laundry facilities, and hand washing stations. As recently as September 10th, more bad news came from the cruise line after the vessel didn't pass her sea trials, likely leading to more delays as the cruise line works to obtain the necessary certification. The sea trials are a series of evaluations that test the ship's major components, such as propulsion, speed, and navigation, that must be successfully passed before a new or revamped vessel can enter service. This blow comes shortly after VFB residents said it would stop paying for guest accommodations in Belfast while they wait to set sail, meaning guests will now have to pay out of pocket. The cruise line explained that the company has already spent about $500,000 in hotel costs and couldn't feasibly spend any more. VFB Odyssey still does not have an official date in place to embark on her continuous world voyage, and it's unclear when one will be set. Once she does enter service, the transformed vessel will operate back-to-back world cruises that are supposed to call on 425 destinations in 147 countries, including more than 100 tropical islands. The big if is, when will the Odyssey finally set sail? The other if, there was no information. Does this lady get her money back? Are they going to keep part of her money? Do they even have the cash to give her money back? That was not stated one way or the other.
I have a few more openings on the cruise ship Dr. Cruise, sailing November 16th from Port Canaveral on the Norwegian Epic, with stops in Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, Great Stirrup Key. It'll be a 7-nighter. Prices start at $9.85 per person. Solos from $13.85, including taxes and port charges. To join author Ivan Cox and me, just call me or text me at 434-258-9264 or email me at chilliefalls.com and join us on the cruise ship Dr. Cruise.
All right. And that's going to end the news portion of today's show. Let's go over and see what's happening in the chat room. All right. Who all is with us today? Mike's here from the other side of the pond. Good morning, Mike. There's Steve out in Kentucky. Joanne's with us. Katie's here. It says good morning to the gang. Sonny's with us down in Mississippi. Katie says, Chillie, worried about your voice. Okay. A little explanation on that is probably due. This is not from the pneumonia. This is from the breathing treatments. You know, I've had trouble all along when I have to take breathing treatments that it makes me start coughing. Well, they made me start the breathing treatments back again with the pneumonia. The pneumonia is pretty much gone, except I'm still trying to get my strength back. I'm still weak, but that's over. This is all from the cotton picking breathing treatments, which make me cough. But it's a necessary evil when you've lost roughly 30% of your lung capacity in the last 12 months. So, all right, Cindy's with us. Good morning, Sim. Bob's here. Hello, Bob. There's Roger. Be back home Friday night. I hope you have enjoyed your trip, Roger. Todd's with us. Good morning, Todd. Gary Older Dirt's here. Hey, Gary. V sounds scary. I feel bad for the lady. I feel bad for her, too. And with all the hassles that they've had now for, 4 months? May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 4 months. I'm sorry that she was bad-mouthing them on the WhatsApp things. Maybe they deserved it. I mean, they took all the money in, but they don't have the boat ready to go yet. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for her, too. Gretchen's here out in Ohio. Of course, Roger's in France. He's over there, parlez-vous français. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Don't forget, Friday, who knows what's going to happen. I'll be on a train. I hope to do a show of some type. Don't know when. I hope it's 11 o'clock. No guarantee on that. We're going to play that one totally by ear on Friday. When I get on the train, I'll see what's happening. It might be that I do Facebook Lives if I've got a signal worth. I don't know. But I'll try to do a regular show, is my hope. And of course, then I'm going to Boston to meet Hot Air Tom. He will have gotten in earlier on Friday from the 2 cruises to Quebec and back on the Jim. So, Roger says the river cruise ends after a cruise extension in Aix-en-Provence. I might have said that wrong. So anyway, Friday, who knows what's going to happen. I will be back tomorrow. I've got errands to run today because I didn't get out of here yesterday, waiting for my doctor to call me. And I did he finally called. And by then it was pouring down rain. And I said, nah, I'm not going to do it. So hopefully the weather will have eased up a little today. And I'll get out and do all the things I got to do, like go to the bank and fill a car up and all that business. Because I got to leave here at 1 a.m. or something on Friday morning. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. That helps us out a bunch. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. We've had a great week. So I'm up to 65, 22, I think it was this morning. But if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It doesn't cost you anything. That really helps the channel out. All right, guys, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. Hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.